Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. Today's is so good. I want you to listen to what Melody Beatty has to say. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Let me read it one more time. Let it really sink in. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. I love that so much because so many times we take things for granted. We don't need to do that anymore. We need to be thankful in all things. The scripture talks a lot about thankfulness. In fact, Philippians 4 verses 5 through 7 says it this way. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Sounds to me like there are some prerequisites for having that peace that passes all understanding. And gratitude, thankfulness, is a huge part of it. So I wonder, what do you have to be thankful for today? Yeah, what I want you to do is, as the music plays, I want you to think about all the things that you love in your life. Even the small stuff. The stuff that just becomes part of your everyday that you kind of look past. You just assume it's going to be there. Take it for granted. You know, that kind of thing. And I want you to really feel that thankfulness. And you know what? I think we could take it a step further. Why don't you open up that line of communication with God and thank Him for all the blessings in your life? Even thank Him for the situation you're in the middle of right now that seems like you can't get out of, seems like it's crushing you, seems like the pressure is just too much, seems like you can't get over it. Thank Him for being with you in the middle of it. Thank Him that whatever you're going through is going to make you better because He turns everything that is meant for our destruction for our good. So thank Him in the middle of it. It's hard to do, but my goodness, let me tell you what else the Bible says. He inhabits the praises of His people. So as you're thankful, as you're giving Him gratitude, as you're praising Him for all He's done, He shows up and He makes it better. Try it. See if it doesn't work. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Hey, I do want to ask you to do one thing for me, okay? This is something new I've started doing, and I've really enjoyed it because I love shouting you out on the radio. I want to shout you out. So can you send me an email, Steven@885jfm.com. Let me know your name, where you're listening to us from, and tell me something about the station. Do you enjoy it? Is there something we need to improve on? I want to hear it, but I want to shout you out, okay? Steven@885jfm.com. Spell it either way, with a PH or a V. I'll get it either way, okay? Thank you.
You ever notice how some people can just walk into any industry, any avenue of life and manage to become successful? How some people seem to have this golden touch where they're just good at everything they do. The reason you see this is not because these people have some information that you don't have, or some connections that you don't have, or some genetics that you don't have. It's because they have a skill set that you don't have. The people that I'm describing are relentless. They will outwork everyone. They never make excuses. They always find a way to solve a problem. They find the lesson in every single experience, positive or negative, and they apply that lesson moving forward. That's why they're continuously successful. And you're not born with any of that. You cultivate that by practicing it. So if you can develop those traits, you can become that guy.
Sounds like a challenge to me. How about you? Yeah? Relentlessness. Wow, go for it today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Currently 32 degrees in Boaz. It's 33 in Huntsville, 34 right now in Arab. But looks like right here in Guntersville, we just happen to be kissing that 40-degree mark. Oh, yeah. This could be a two-kiss kind of day. I wonder if we'll hit the 50s before 10 o'clock. I'll have that thing on standby, ready to go, just in case. But, hey, let me tell you your word of life today. It's a good one. It comes to you from Mark 13, verse 33 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. And since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard. Ooh, always ready. You know, Yeah. So, hey, why don't you share that word of life with somebody? And, this particular word of life kind of begs you to dig in a little bit deeper. So remember, that's Mark 13, verse 33. So take a look a few verses ahead of that verse, and then a few verses after that verse. Get some context for it, and find out what that time is. We've got it ready for you to share across all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. I got to shout some people out real quick. I see my little brother's family listening to me right now at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Good morning, Nova and Stella and Kelly and John. I hope y'all are having a great morning. Okay, so I'm calling this Signs of the Times.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you, Sloth. All right, now I've got to talk with you about the signs of the times because they are everywhere. And I'm not talking about the biblical signs of the times. No, I'm not shrinking away from that either. I'm like, we need to be watching for those things. But I'm talking about the signs of our times. Yeah, specifically, middle age. What even is that anyway? Webster's dictionary says middle age is somewhere between 40 and 60 years old. So it's kind of a wide window, right? But there are definitely signs that you are arriving. I wonder if you've experienced any of these. Yeah. So I came across 10 comments to kind of help us figure out if we're near there. So if any of these apply to you, well, let's just check and see how many of these 10. If it's more than 5, you might be there. Whew. All right, here we go. Water now gives you heartburn. Does it happen to you? I haven't gotten that yet. So water giving you heartburn. Jesse says, today on Unsolved Middle-Age Mysteries, where did this bruise come from? You get bruises and don't even know where they come from? I've witnessed my wife actually just yesterday. She's like, hey, where's this bruise from? I'm like, I don't know. Number 3, Christina says, no more hollering. Does anyone need the rest stop on family trips? Because your bladder shrinks to the size of a walnut when you reach middle age. That one stings a little bit. Yeah. Well, Melissa says, welcome to your 40s. You now think every car has its brights on. That is too relatable. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you ever find yourself flashing to them like, turn your brights off? And then they turn their brights on. It's like, oh, sorry. All right. This lady says, if I complain about being out of shape, I don't actually want fitness tips and workouts to try. I just want to complain and remain out of shape. What's wrong with you people? I love that one. Tracy, she said, someone asked me what I did this weekend like I'm some sort of mountain climber. I'm 50 years old, Connor. I was on a heating pad, eating nachos. Those things are tasty, aren't they? Extra cheese, please. This lady says, nothing in life prepares you for getting out of a beanbag chair in your 50s. Oh, it's so hard. I'm not even 50 yet, but I can totally agree. Those beanbag chairs are awful. This lady says, welcome to middle age. You can't remember if you took your pills 10 minutes after you take your pills. Oh. This one hits for me. How about for you? So you know what I started doing? I make it easier to remember. After I take a pill, I turn it on its head. So it's upside down. So I know I took that pill. That doesn't work all the time, but most of the time it's helped. I'm just wanting to pass that along to you. Maybe it'll help you too. And here we go. Number 9. I ordered a cheeseburger at this burger restaurant, and while waiting, I saw all these gorgeous, young, much thinner than me women eating salad. At my middle age, I can say unapologetically that I really enjoyed that cheeseburger. Oh, yeah. You do you, boo. And then here we go. Welcome to your 40s. A new cordless vacuum will excite you now. You mean I don't have to plug it up? I have no cable to contend with? What? Right now across North Alabama, yep, it's pretty chilly out there, but that sky is gorgeous. The blues, the oranges, the pinks right there on the horizon. Oh my goodness. It's a masterpiece. It really is. Right now it's 32 degrees in Scottsboro. Over in Albertville, you're sitting at 35, 38 right now in Blunsville, 39 here in Gunnersville, 40 right now in Coleman. Those temperatures are kind of wavering a little bit, but I'm pretty confident we'll hit 50 by the end of the show, so I'll have my sound effect ready for it. Here's your word of life today from Mark chapter 13, verse 33 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. And since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard. Stay alert. Wow, that's a good one, right? Staying alert, being on guard, always ready. Ready to go. Ready for that time. But what is that time? Well, let me remind you, that's Mark 13, verse 33. Go and check it out. A few verses before, a few verses after. Put it in context and see. And why don't you share it with somebody too? Start a conversation with this word of life. We've got it ready for you across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, or Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Well, let me tell you, I see some people listening to us right now in Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you for making us part of your day. Also, we got North Alabama in the house. I see it in Gunnersville listening right now. Got some family listening to me up in, Kentucky, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, right there on the Tennessee line. We've got our friends in Helsinki, Finland as well. Thank you. Whether you're listening on the radio, the stream, or the podcast after the show on Spotify, we are so thankful for you. Now, I've got to shout out my friend Kay Dean. Guess what? I just heard from Kay Dean. And I was talking about these signs that maybe you've reached middle age, and she had another one for me, one that I did not mention. And so she wanted to get it in there. And thank you, Kay Dean, for doing that. Here is that call. It was so good. Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. Top of the morning to you. Happy Tuesday.
Oh, thank you. That is so funny. Hearing top of the morning from you. You still have that Jamaican accent. Try to give me like an Irish Jamaican accent.
Well, I want to call you, mate, to say hi. Top of the morning, yeah? Top of the morning to you.
That's great. I love it. How you doing?
Stephen, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm good. I went to Redeemed on Saturday. It was phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
I'm so glad to hear it. So what did you love about it?
I love the fact that so many women were willing to give back.
Yeah.
We think sometimes, like, I know I'm blessed. I've never gone to bed hungry, but I'm not rich. Right now, I'm not able to work. There's so many things that I could complain about. But Stephen, I got up this morning. I was able to get out of bed. I got a little achy back because, 52 ain't easy.
Oh.
A little achy back, but I said, thank you, Lord, for the pain. It reminded me I got it back.
That's right.
And now I'm on my way to go meet with my women, and two of them are from Lean Into Jesus Ministries. And just time, being intentional with your time to give back to somebody. I couldn't believe how many women were there. God is working in Alabama. It's moving.
Yes, He is. Wow. I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you.
Yeah. But I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you listed this one on your old age recognition.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
I started to have to wear glasses at about 45.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty late, but everybody else in my family wears glasses. And so now I find, I've been looking for the glasses, and it's on my face. It's on my face, David. It's on my face.
That is so funny.
Okay. Welcome to middle old age. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'll get you.
I'm going to tell you that one. Yeah. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Take your time.
All right, you too. Thanks for calling. I love hearing from you, Kay Dean.
Yeah, man. You be good. All right, Stephen.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I love that. It's the glasses. Mm-hmm. And now, let me ask you a question. How many pairs of reading glasses do you have around the house? Yeah? You got a few in the junk drawer. You probably even have a pair in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. It happens. Hey, I heard about these new kinds of reading glasses. They're actually adjustable. They're two lenses. They got little screws on them, and you can turn them to whichever works for you. I thought that is so cool. It's like the universal reader. Anybody can wear them and just adjust them to what you need. Huh? Pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah, hey, I'm getting ready for this car line competition. I hope you are too, because I want to give away some gift cards. We'll do it here in about 8 minutes. But first, Matthew West with All In right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM. Many of you might not know this, but I actually moonlight as a sideline reporter or a courtside reporter. In this instance, you see, I've gone to some basketball games here lately, and I've taken in some really good action on the court. And I had to talk with a player after these games. You see, my little girl Grace has his friend. His name is Grayson, and we go and watch his basketball games from time to time. So at the end of the game, I'll go out on the court and I'll ask Grayson, how did it go? What do you think? What'd you think about today's game? So the first one, it was a hard one because they didn't pull out the win. And here's what that sounded like.
Now with the post-game interview, we've got Grayson Parks here. Grayson, how did you feel about tonight's game? Huh? Yeah, what about your coaches? Did your coaches give it their all?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about your teammates? Did they give it their all?
Yeah.
All right, what's your thoughts about going forward? This next game, are y'all gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. All right, good job, man.
Sounded pretty confident. He was confident the next game they were going to win because they lost that night. It happens sometimes in sports, you know? You win some, you lose some. Well, just so happens that I got to go to another game. And guess what happened on this one? Well, here, I'll just let the interview tell you.
Reporting here with Grayson Parks. Grayson got the actual game winner. What did it feel like, man?
It felt good because I was like shocked when I got fouled. When I was shooting and I got fouled, I was so shocked, and I was nervous because I did think I was gonna make it, but I didn't think I was gonna make it. So.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations! What a win, man.
It all hinged on 2 free throws. He only had to make one of them, and that first one, boom, right through the net. It was awesome, and yes, they got the win that game. Congratulations, Grayson Parks. Hey, I enjoy doing that courtside reporting. I'm gonna have to do more of that. Hey, let's get down to business. We got a game to play. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn. All right, now let's go ahead and I guess let's crank that engine. Then let's start that music. So I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the Carline competition. Your chance to win some gift cards this morning. 3 to be exact. 1 to Gunnersville Chick-fil-A, 1 to Albertville Home Bakery, and 1 to the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. It's a trivia game. I ask a question, give you the cue to call. You call me up, give me the right answer. You win 3 gift cards, 1 to keep, 2 to give away. You even share some love with some people on the radio. You shout them out. So let's do this thing. Your first question of today's Carline competition is as follows. What kind of animals are Shenzi and Bonsai in The Lion King? Ooh, are they lemmings? Are they hyenas? Are they warthogs? Or are they meerkats? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. And I've got my caller. Stay on the phone line with me while I start this next song. And I'll get your answer. Shane and Shane with You've Already Won. 88.5 JFM. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that's Grace. What's up, girlie?
Nothing.
You want to play a game with me?
Sure.
All right, let's do this thing. I got a question for you. In The Lion King, Shenzi and Bonsai, they are 2 of what? Are they lemmings, hyenas, warthogs, or meerkats?
Hyenas.
Hyenas? That's correct. Congratulations to you. You just won 3 gift cards. What do you think about that?
That's cool.
I think it's pretty cool too. Yeah. So, you want to shout a couple people out here on the radio?
Sure.
All right, I'm ready for it.
The first one would be Miss Isom.
Okay. Your teacher, right?
Yeah.
What do you like about Miss Isom?
She's just a good teacher.
Very good. And who's that second person?
Dahlia.
Dahlia with the red hair, Dahlia?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you like about her?
She's just really funny and energetic, and she's my friend.
That's great, baby girl. Thank you so much for sharing some love here on the radio. So, you want me to send those gift cards your way?
Sure.
All right, I can do that. I love you, girlie. I hope you have a great day at school.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Not every day I get to hear from a little girl on the radio. Thanks again for calling me, girlie. I do hope you have a great day at school. All right, let's get down to it. Question number 2. Are you ready to play? I sure hope so. Which of these should you not feed a horse? Carrots, celery, meat, or hay? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, which of these should you not feed a horse? Is it A, carrots, B, celery, C, meat, or D, Hey, 256-505-0885 is the number to call. I've got my caller. Y'all are quick. Let me start the song and I'll get your answers. Rachel Lampa with Somebody to You. Hey, I wanted to mention something real quick. I'm about to play this last caller, right? But I wanted to mention this. Something happened in my house recently, and it was just a little bit scary. But I wanted to kind of help everybody out. You know what? For all you kids headed to school this morning, sometimes you're going to feel independent, and you're going to ask mom or dad, hey, can I make something in the kitchen? Could I cook something myself? And you know what? They might just say yes, because you've got to learn how to do that, how to be independent, right? Well, let me just remind you, when you're making mac and cheese, those individual cups of mac and cheese, remember to put water in there, because if it doesn't get up to that fill line and you put it in the microwave, I found out what happens. The noodles, they start turning black and smoking, and the plastic melts, and it makes a terrible stink, and we still haven't gotten it out of our house. But it happens. It's not a big deal. Let me tell you something. My daughter Grace was completely beside herself. She was so sorry for not putting water in there. But I told her, it's okay. This kind of stuff happens. I got it out of there, and we've been airing out the house ever since. So I wanted to tell you, too, when you try to make mac and cheese, and maybe you forget to do one of the steps, and something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay, okay? Your mom and dad, well, they're there for you. They'll help you out. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that, okay? All right. Now, let's play this question, this answer from the Carline competition. Lifeline Morning Show, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, who am I talking to?
This is Heather.
Heather. All right, Heather. So what you up to today?
Well, I'm headed to work about an hour earlier today.
Oh, wow, okay. Just feeling ready for it. Can't wait. Just got to get there, huh?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's do this thing. I got a question for you. So, which of these should you not feed a horse? Carrots, celery, meat, or hay?
Well, I'm going to say meat. I've never heard of a horse being fed meat, and if they are, that's a first for me.
Right? Well, you are correct. You do not feed a horse meat because they are herbivores. They
Right.
don't eat meat. So, good job. You got it.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. I mean,
Yeah.
never heard of them eating meat before. So.
Right? That would be interesting. So, hey, you know how this works. We want you to keep one of these gift cards, give the other two away to two very special people. Can you tell me about those two people?
Yes, sir. Their names are Cindy and Kelly. They're sisters.
Okay.
And they're both wonderful ladies. One of them I used to work with at Friendly Mountain, and she's now working at ARAB.
Oh, nice.
Elementary, and her sister Kelly is a wonderful lady. I used to work for her as well. But they're both just angels, earth angels.
Oh.
So I would like to, it's not much, but I'd like to bless them this morning and tell them how much I love and appreciate the both of them.
I love that. This is my favorite part of the whole thing, is getting people to shout out who really means a lot to them. So thank you for that this morning, Heather.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Now, let me make sure that I have your address. I'm pretty sure I do. Let me see. Oh, 15211. And I don't need to play that part on the radio. Very
Let's
good.
see.
I
There we
got
go.
it. I'll send them your way.
Okay, also I wanted to give a real quick shout out to
Sure.
your wife.
Oh.
She's my Snapchat bestie. And also, it was wonderful hearing from that beautiful princess of yours, little Grace.
Oh, thank you so much.
But y'all have a blessed day, sir.
Okay, you too.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye. Heather Cole from ARAB, thank you so much for calling me this morning. Oh, that was cool. That was really cool. All right, time for one more question here. I wonder if you know the answer. See, I was talking with this little girl. Her name is Mitty the other day, and she just happened to get a pink poodle. One of those toys. It's a pink poodle, and it's got like this leash, and it's got a controller on the end. It makes it bark and makes it walk, and that kind of inspired this question right here. Which dog is known as the weenie dog? Is it a poodle, a Yorkshire Terrier, a Pekingese, or a Dachshund? 256-505-0885 is a number to call, and there is my caller. All right, stay on the phone line with me while I start this song. It's Laura's story. You cannot be stopped. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. What's your name?
Trip.
Trip. Northcutt, right?
Yes, sir.
How's school going?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Anything particularly fun happening today at school?
No, sir.
No? Okay. All right. So let's have some fun right now to make up for that. I got a question for you. Which dog is known as the weenie dog? Is it a poodle, a Yorkshire Terrier, a Pekingese, or a Dachshund?
Dogson.
Dachshund is correct. Congratulations to you. You just won 3 gift cards. What do you think about that?
Cool.
I think it's pretty cool too. So here's my favorite part. We want you to keep 1 and give 2 away to 2 very special people. Can you tell me about those 2 people?
Can I keep them on the choo-choo train?
Oh, you want to start a train?
Yes, sir.
Dude, we can totally do that. Yes, we can do that right now. Yeah, but I still want to hear from you about at least one person that means a lot to you. We got to share some love here on the radio. Who is it?
My dad,
Aw, cool. What's his name?
Joey,
What do you like about that guy?
he provides food.
He provides food. All right. Does he try to be funny sometimes?
Yes.
Is
sir.
Does it usually work or no?
No, sir.
I love it. I love it. Yep. Us dads, sometimes we try too hard, but hey, you shared some love with him. That's what matters. Thanks so much for calling me this morning, Trip. I will get this train rolling and we'll start. I'll try to get another question in here before 7:30, okay? So maybe we can get this train in the station. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks again. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, bye. I love it. I absolutely love it. Trip, thanks so much for starting the train. And here we go. Here's the last question of today's Carline competition. In computer terminology, what does the acronym RAM stand for? Is it Random Access Memory, Robotic Arm Monitor, Regulated Alert Mark, or Read and Memorize? 256-505-0885 is the number to call, and I've got my caller. Y'all are so quick this morning. 88.5 JFM, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, what's your name?
Stella?
Stella Bella, what's going on, girl?
I'm brushing my hair.
Brushing your hair? All right, do you have school today?
Yeah.
Awesome. You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. So, what's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Oh, very good. A numbers girl. All right. Well, you know what? This is a computer question. I think you know how to work an iPad pretty well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, an iPad even uses this. A computer uses it, but in computer terminology, what does the acronym RAM stand for? Does it mean Random Access Memory, Robotic Arm Monitor, Regulated Alert Mark, or Read and Memorize?
Random access memory.
Congratulations to you! So stinking smart you are. You just won 6 gift cards. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
I'm loving it too. That's good stuff right there. So this is my favorite part, Stella. I want to hear from you about 2 very special people in your life that mean a whole lot to you.
My parents.
Okay. So tell me something special about that mom of yours.
She gave me birth.
She gave you life? Awesome. And tell me something special about that dad of yours.
He lets me stay up.
He lets you stay up. Okay. I happen to like him pretty well myself. Thank you so much for calling me this morning, Stella Bella.
You're welcome.
Have a great day at school.
Okay. Love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
I think that's the first time I've talked with my niece, Stella, on the radio since I've been here at the station. Wow, that was really special. They are up in Fort Campbell in Kentucky, and she's getting ready for school, and you know what? They come down back into town from time to time, and so yeah, she's going to be able to share some love with some gift cards. That's good stuff right there. All right. Well, hey, that brings us to the end of today's Carline competition. We'll play again tomorrow, starting at 7 o'clock. Sound good? But hey, I want to invite you to stick around, especially for the 9 o'clock hour, because at 9 o'clock, we're going to have some pretty amazing people in here from God's Feral Felines. And guess what? They're bringing kittens with them. And we're going to be live on the socials so you can see what's happening in the studio. Last time we did this, that kitten acted more like a parrot because it sat on my shoulder for most of the interview. We'll see how it goes this time, though. They're going to tell us all about what's considered kitten season. It's actually coming up. It's kind of here. And going to talk with us about a few other things they have going on. And, I mean, a chance for you to get some amazing biscuits and gravy at their fundraiser. That's going to be good, too. So, 9 o'clock, be here, either on the radio, on the stream, or over on our socials. We'll be on Facebook. We'll be on Twitter. We'll be on YouTube at the same time with God's Feral Felines. Again, that's 9 o'clock. We got a lot of stuff to talk about between now and then, so I hope you'll stick around. Hey, I've got it's your drive time devotion, actually. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Here, take a listen.
This is Pastor Gary Kraft with your Drive Time Devotion. Do you have those dishes that you use only on a very special day? Or that tool passed down from your pawpaw that you don't dare use for fear of breaking it? Or a flag in a triangular case on the mantle that was given to you at the graveside of a loved one? Those items are special because they have special significance and are set apart from the common use. You would not dare let your 10-year-old wear that flag at a ball game. That's a picture of the biblical view of holiness, something set apart from common use for a special purpose. But when it comes to God Himself, the word holy means so much more. He's set apart too from everything else in the universe because He made everything else but Himself. He is not the final level of developed intelligent beings, simply a step above the archangels. No, He is in a category all by Himself, and everything has its origin in Him. He is simply incomparable. Nothing and no one can begin to compare to Him in power, wisdom, beauty, creativity, and love. That is the God that Jesus instructed us to address as our Father in the Lord's Prayer. We should never get over who our Father really is and what He has done to give us access to Him. He's holy, in a category all by Himself, but has invited us to come near. Wow. Let's pray. Father, You are holy. You are above and beyond and well able to handle everything that comes our way today, even wars and COVID and everything else. Help us walk in awe of Your greatness. In Jesus' name, amen.
Sometimes I hear somebody just talking about how they see that their faith is in action, that they see that things actually happening from the Bible, their prayers are being answered, and I love sharing stuff like that. It encourages me. You know what? This girl, Allie, she's about to point out something in the Bible that you might have never thought of before. But, I mean, everything or anything? Yeah, it's fair game. You'll understand. Take a listen.
When the Lord says that you can pray for anything, He means it. He means it! Because I was having a cockroach problem in my house, y'all. Yeah, cockroaches. And the weather here in Nashville was so bad with the rain and the snow that the exterminator couldn't even come. So I'm living in my home and I'm catching about 2 cockroaches a day and flushing them down the toilet. And I got to the end of my rope and I said, Lord, in the name of Jesus, there will be no more cockroaches in my home from now on. No more intruders. That goes for people, cockroaches, mice, all of it. You are not welcome in my home in the name of Jesus. Lord, help me now, God. Please, Lord. Guess who hasn't seen a single cockroach in her home in a week? In a week! I was catching them every day, y'all, and I haven't seen a single cockroach. Yeah, He's real. The Lord is real!
I love that. You're like, Stephen, that's just silly. No, that's true. You can pray about everything. In fact, He invites us to do it because He cares about the little stuff. Even cockroaches? You better believe even cockroaches. I've got an aunt who's like deathly afraid of cockroaches. You just mention there's a cockroach, she'll jump up on the kitchen chair. She does not care. She gets away at every opportunity. So no cockroaches is a big deal. So got a cockroach problem? Hey, why don't you pray about it? Who knows? It might just work. He's pretty good about doing what He says, isn't He? Isn't it awesome how the presence of God can completely change your mood and attitude in an instant? One worship song, one whispered prayer, one scripture verse can take you from the absolute worst mindset to a place of such peace and joy. There's nothing like the presence of God. Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Hey, when's the last time you really felt overwhelmed by His presence? I mean, it was like He was right there beside you. You could feel His presence. That happened to me recently. And I'd like to say it happens more often than not, but it had been a while since I felt that overwhelmed and that just consumed by His presence. And let me tell you, it did my heart good to be in that place, to feel that closeness, that intimacy with my Creator, to feel His presence. It brought tears to my eyes. I'm going to be honest. But it was so good. It was definitely a happy cry. Let's dispel all the rumors, okay? Guys cry too. And sometimes it's just exactly what you need. It's just you're so overwhelmed, your body responds in that way. And that happened to me recently. And to be honest, it took me back to when I was 10 years old. One of the first experiences that I feel like I really had with God, where I felt His presence so strong. It took me back to that place. And you know, I think we need to do a better job of sharing those memories with other people. Because there's some of us who've experienced God in that way. In just a tangible way. You feel Him, you know? And we need to share that with others. And we need to share about what we've seen God do in our lives. To strengthen other people's faith. To help them and to remind ourselves of just how big and how awesome our God is. So I wonder if you take that challenge with me today. Share your story. Share your testimony. How God has impacted your life with somebody today. Maybe a coworker. Be awesome. You never know what kind of conversation that can lead to. A quick story. I used to work in television news, and I spent a lot of time in a vehicle with reporters when we would go on different stories. And one in particular, I got to talking with about my faith, and she was talking with me about how, you know, she felt like she was at once really close with God, but she felt like she'd kind of fallen away a little bit. So we were able to address that. I was able to help her to have that conversation with God of coming back to Him. You know, it's one of those things you'll never have the opportunity to do unless you open up about it. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared to mention your faith in the workplace because people want to hear it. Okay? Yeah, I pray that you get to have that experience too. That you get to help somebody come back to Jesus. Let Him be their rescue. Well, hey, I want to shout some people out real quick. Indianapolis, Indiana, I see you listening to us right now. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, we've also got Reno County, Kansas. We've got Skyline, Alabama, and Boaz, and Gunnersville. And we've got our friends over in Helsinki, Finland, hanging out with us as well. Thank you so much for being here. You know what? You're the reason why we're here in the first place, whether you're listening to us on the stream, the radio, or the podcast over on Spotify. We are thankful for you. In fact, I want to go a step further. Would you mind emailing me your name, where you listen to us from, and I can shout you out here on the radio properly? Yeah, Stephen at 885jfm.com. Doesn't matter how you spell it with a V or a PH. Stephen at 885jfm.com. I'd love to know your name, where you're listening to us from, and if you want to say something good about the station or something that we could improve on, I'm always looking for that too. So again, Stephen at 885jfm.com. And a reminder that we have an amazing interview coming up here at 9 o'clock. We're going to have the people with God's Feral Felines in studio. They're bringing kittens with them. And we're going to be live on the radio as well as on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time. So you can catch out all the behind the scenes and see what the cats are up to here in the studio. This is the second time that I've ever had kittens in here. The first time, the one that I had over here with me, Acted more like a parrot because I like to sit up on my shoulder. It was kind of cute. Anyway, that's coming up at 9. And hey, all of today's talking segments are put together as a podcast and put up on Spotify after the show at 10:15 this morning. You can go there and see today's episode and maybe even share it with somebody. We greatly appreciate it. But hey, I'm watching my email now. I'm watching that inbox. So go ahead and send me your name, where you're listening to us from, so I can shout you out. Stephen at 885jfm.com. All right. I got more great music for you, a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Brian Trent from Hampton, South Carolina is going to help us out with an idea coming up shortly, so I hope you'll stick around. He's always got such good stuff. But first, Blessing Offer and Your Love. I follow some pretty amazing people over on the socials. This guy, his name is Brian Trent. He's a pastor in Hampton, South Carolina at the Lighthouse Church. He and his family post content like all the time, and it is so good. They go by Trent Tribe. You can find him there on Instagram and on TikTok. And he had something to say that I thought you needed to hear. I know I needed to hear it too. See what you think about this.
Again, I encourage you right now, in Matthew 14, it tells the story about the disciples being on a boat in the middle of a storm. And then Jesus comes walking up on the water, right? The craziness, all that. And I'm sure you know the story. But then Jesus ends up calling Peter out of the boat. Peter gets out of the boat, walks on water. Of course, we know that he begins to notice things and begins to sink. But Lord, give him some credit because the dude walked on water. I mean, you know what I mean? At least he got out of the boat. But there's something in there that we'll miss if we aren't careful that would be very encouraging to a lot of us right now. You see, Jesus come walking up, and he wasn't just walking on water. Jesus was walking on the storm. Listen, I don't know what's going on in your life right now, but I can assure you this, that if you become so fixated with the storm more than you do the one who walks on the storm, then I can assure you the weight of that storm is going to be so heavy that it begins to crush you. And Jesus didn't call Peter out to calm waters. Jesus called him out of a boat with a storm that existed before Peter ever got out of the boat. See, this storm is not meant to break you. It's not meant to sink you. This storm is going to change your life. And Jesus is calling to you in the midst of that storm to get out of the boat. You're waiting on calm waters, but it's not going to happen. Jesus is calling you because you are going to walk with the one who not only walks on water, but walks on your storm. Love you guys.
Currently, it's 39 degrees in Boaz and in Arab, and in Huntsville, it's 40 degrees. Across the rest of North Alabama, heating up very nicely. 45 in Coleman and Bluentsville, 47 right now in Gunnersville, 48 in Scottsboro. I think we're going to hit that 50-degree mark before the end of the show. So hopefully, in the next hour, I can play my favorite sound effect. Yeah, we'll see if it's a two-kiss kind of day, all right? But hey, let me tell you who's bringing you your forecast this hour. It's none other than Nick Couch and the whole crew up at Classic by the Lake Express Car Wash. They're a locally owned, locally operated, full-service family car wash and the home of the unlimited monthly wash plan. They're at the top of the mountain in Gunnersville, next door to Gunnersville Chevrolet. That's Classic by the Lake Express Car Wash. Now your word of life. Today it comes to you from Mark 13, verse 33 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. And since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard. Stay alert. That's a good one. We've always got to be aware of what's going on, don't we? Got to be ready and waiting. Yeah. There's quite a few stories in the Bible about that. So I think it'll do us well to follow his lead, to go ahead and pay attention to that advice. Why don't you share that word of life with somebody and tell them what it means to you? We've got it ready for you across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok, and it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Well, I know being an adult, it's kind of hard to make friends with somebody. Bring somebody else into your little circle because life is busy. We've got responsibilities and lots of times there are kids involved and there's all kinds of stuff going on. And sometimes, sure, we say yes to too many things and we stretch ourselves a little bit thin. Been there? I know I have. Got the scars to prove it. And the burnout? Oh, it's awful, isn't it? But we need good friends we can do life with. So I want to tell you, there are a couple of things you have to think about when it comes to friendship. But I'm not an expert on this. I know somebody who is. Her name is Mel Robbins, and she's got a little something to say to us this morning about the 2 P's of friendship. Here, see what you think about this.
When you think about friendship, think about 2 P's. The first P is patterns. When you have overlapping patterns in your life, you tend to become friends with people. For example, work. You show up at work every single day. That's a pattern. You tend to become friends with people at work because you have an overlapping pattern. Your kids are playing on the same sports team. There's a pattern. You frequent the same coffee shop. There's another pattern. It makes it easier for you to become friends. Now that brings me to the second P. You're only going to see the people and become friends with people that you prioritize. Period. End of story. Because even if you have all these patterns in your life and you bump into people at the coffee shop or at work or you stand next to them on the sidelines, unless you prioritize it, it doesn't happen. What are the patterns in your life? And who are you making it a priority to spend time with? Take the initiative. Make a date and make it happen.
I love that advice. How about you? Yeah? Making friends. It's not so easy, but there you go. The 2 ingredients that you need. The 2 P's. Try that out. See if it doesn't work. Hey, I want to shout out a friend right now. Savannah Mitchell hanging out with us on the stream. Thank you for being here, Savannah. Really appreciate you. We got some pretty amazing people with God's Feral Felines in the studio right now, and they brought kittens with them. You're probably going to hear a purr or two, maybe a meow, but they're going to tell us a little bit more about kitten season and a little more coming up. So stick around. Let me hit one more song, and we'll be back with God's Feral Felines. Here's Micah Tyler with Praise the Lord, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM. 88.5 JFM, the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love bringing people into this studio. We have a good time. We got some really good stuff going on around our community, and there's one organization that's really looking out for a particular population. I don't know, maybe you heard a little bit about this population on a TV show. Yeah, daytime TV. You know, it was, what was it? It was a game show of sorts. It was, what was that again? Oh yeah, I remember. Here he is. Take a listen to this.
Bob Barker reminding you, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
That's right, Bob Barker. And then, of course, you know Drew Carey. He had to pick it up, too. So here's him.
Folks, help control the pet population. Don't forget to get your pet spayed or neutered. See you next time on Price is Right. Bye-bye.
The Price is Right. I used to love watching that with my granny. We had a good time. But hey, right now, we've got some people here in the studio that are going to tell us a little bit more about helping to control that pet population, a certain population of cats. I understand it's kitten season. Tell me more. Tell me more. Who wants to start off? Pam?
Well, kitten season is getting ready to start.
Yeah.
And pretty much any intact female that has access to a male is going to end up pregnant. So we really want to urge those that own cats to please get their cats fixed.
I gotcha. Okay, so let's just kind of talk a little bit about this whole idea of kitten season. It's a particular time of year, I understand, and let's get in more of the scientific stuff of how this works, because cats are a little bit different from other animals as far as when they come into heat, when they can even get pregnant, and there's so much more. So tell us a little bit more.
Okay, kitten season in this area runs pretty much from mid-February to November. It ends when the clocks change, basically, when there are not as many daylight hours. But as soon as the daylight hours start increasing, every single female comes into heat. And cats are polyestrous, which means ultimately they will go into heat. If they do not get pregnant, they will go out of heat for a week, and they will turn around and go right back into heat. And they will keep that cycle going until they're pregnant or until November comes.
Wow. Okay, so a big opportunity for these cats to really make more kittens, and then it becomes a bit of a problem. I know overpopulation really is a source of so much devastation for the cat population, right?
It is. And we also do 2 other programs, but they're reactive. Helping owners get their cats fixed is proactive because it takes care of the situation before the problem occurs.
I gotcha. All right, and that's one of the programs. What's the other program?
We offer a TNR, Trap, Neuter, and Return program, and we also do kitten rescue where we take in kittens 6 to 8 weeks or younger.
Gotcha. And speaking of kittens, we got some in the studio with us right now. They're so fluffy.
Yeah, we do.
Now these, I know they're not ready for adoption quite yet, but this is kind of a look at things to come. I can hear the little meows in the background. So, hey, I wonder if you could introduce your team that you brought in here with you today.
This is Lisa. She is our medical person. Boyd is my vice president, and he's in charge of training for all the cleaning. And Karen, on the end there, does the majority of our social media work.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've been taking a look at your website. You guys have a really nice one. Who's responsible for putting that together again?
I put it together a few years ago, but I've got someone now that's keeping it up to date.
Very nice. You're taking a look at it now over on the socials. And hey, if you didn't know, we are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube at the same time as we're on radio right now. So coming through here, you can see the About Us section, a little bit more about what they do. Now, you guys are a nonprofit, a lot of volunteers who are helping to make sure that this cat population is taken care of. Now, I live in Arab. I know your office is in Arab, right?
Right on Main Street, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I know that I see strays all the time there in Arab. And sometimes they're friendly, sometimes not so friendly. But I know you even have things that you do for those strays. I guess if you can capture them, right? That's what you were talking about a second ago?
Right, that's the TNR program. TNR stands for Trap, Neuter, and Return.
Okay.
And typically you get people who are feeding these strays.
Yeah.
And we urge them to call us because feeding's only half the solution. The other solution is to get them fixed.
Gotcha.
And we really struggle with getting the message across as how important it is to get these cats fixed. If you look at the statistics, there are about 18,000 cats born a day.
Yeah.
And 10,000 babies born a day.
Wow.
So ultimately, to just take care of those kittens born a day, each baby would have to adopt 2 kittens right from the get-go.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we really need to get proactive. We need the community's help to make a difference on this.
I gotcha. And you guys are very much a part of the community. You have so many events and things going on where you reach out into the community. I know something about a biscuit and gravy fundraiser, and we've talked about that before. You got something like that coming up?
That's coming up this Saturday, 7:30 to 10:30. All we ask for is a donation of whatever you're choosing, large or small. It's biscuit and gravy, juice, coffee, and water.
Mm-hmm. At the old greenhouse.
Oh, it's at the old greenhouse in Arab.
Oh, an amazing little venue there. Yeah, good stuff. And we forgot to mention they're cat head biscuits.
They are cat head biscuits.
I grew up with that term. My granny could make some cat head biscuits. Oh, it gets me hungry this morning. Well, I know you guys are always trying to do what you can, and it can be somewhat of a struggle. What is it like, I guess, with taking these strays sometimes? I imagine it gets kind of weird from time to time, a little dangerous, but y'all are equipped to take care of stuff like that.
Yeah, we actually, when people are doing trap, neuter, and return, we actually get the feral cat caregivers to help. The cats that are being fed, trust them more. We have traps that people can use.
Okay.
And that makes it safe for both the person trapping and the vet.
Gotcha.
Because the vet can actually anesthetize them while they're in the trap. And we spay them, we give them a 3-year rabies vaccine, and they go back continuing to live their outside life, but without the reproduction.
I gotcha. Okay, so now y'all can talk about this all day long, but you've decided to go ahead and step up and say, hey, we want to help make this happen. We don't just want to tell you how you can do this. We want to actually help. I know you guys are going to reduce the cost for spaying and neutering to $40.
Yes, for the next month, if you put in an application, it's on our website under services. Put in an application to get low-cost spay-neuter for low-income households. And in your application, mention JFM 88.5. We are going to reduce the cost to $40, and that will include a rabies vaccine also.
Nice. Y'all stepping up and trying your best to take care of this population. Now, let's just take a look at these kittens one more time. I know that you've already named them, and you've got to tell the story about how one of them turned from a he into a she.
Yeah, these are actually, we brought a mama cat in.
Yeah.
She was actually the very last cat for 2023.
Uh-huh.
And she came with 5 babies.
Wow.
She was gorgeous, so we named her Sophia Loren. She has since been adopted, but these are her babies. And we have Mae West and Cary Grant. And Marilyn Monroe. And Marilyn was Clark Gable to start with until we did a double check.
Yeah.
And found out Clark wasn't going to work for her.
They're pretty good at hiding their stuff when they need to.
Especially the furry ones.
Right. But these are absolutely gorgeous. So fluffy, so snuggly. So when will these be available for adoption?
They have to reach 2 pounds.
Okay.
Because we do the early age spaying and neutering for our rescues. And at 2 pounds, they can be fixed. And once they're fixed, they will be ready for adoption. They're still probably 4 to 5 weeks away.
Okay. All right. I know some people, when they see a kitten like that on the socials, they're like, hey, I wonder about that one. And so they might already be taking down notes. And I know that makes you all happy. Now, when people come in to adopt a cat, how much does it usually cost? And tell us about where that money goes.
The majority of our kittens are $125. Some are $150. Our adults are $100. And the money basically goes right back into spaying and neutering.
Gotcha. So people can know that, hey, when you go there, it's not just some kind of rehoming fee. This money goes into all the services needed to make sure that cat can be taken care of. And then more cats afterwards are taken care of, too. I think it's a very worthwhile cause, and I thank you all for coming in. Now, I want to touch on anything that we haven't really talked about. So, tell you what, let's go to a break real quick. I'll play a song. We'll look at the socials, see if anybody's saying anything over there, any questions. And we want to encourage you, please ask any questions that you have over on Facebook or even on Twitter, YouTube, or if you want to call me up here at the studio, you got a question for God's Feral Felines, 256-505-0885. But for now, it's Building 429, and you can. Again, that number, 256-505-0885. We'll be back. 88.5 JFM, the Lifeline Morning Show. If you listen carefully, you can hear the meows of little kittens in the studio. I love having these little ones in here. They're so cute. Right now, we've got some amazing people with God's Feral Felines with us. And I asked you if you had a question for them, call me up. And look who called, Eileen Russell. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Stephen?
I'm doing wonderful. So I think this crew's doing a pretty good job, huh?
Oh, yes. They've been marvelous. Although I would have liked to hear more from Karen and Boyd and Lisa.
Calling them out on the radio. I see what you're doing. So what kind of question did you have?
Well, I was wondering just how good they are at fostering. Are they foster failures? Or are they willing to give up the kittens when it comes time?
Ooh.
Oh, you know the answer to that.
Amazingly enough, I am the only one that is not a foster fail. Or I haven't been a foster fail since my husband's not been allowed at the shelter.
Yeah, I wasn't a foster fail. We just got 2 to take them home to make sure that my other cat that doesn't like anybody or anything would accept them, and she did. So we adopted them right away.
And Karen?
Yes. Yes, I adopted Bandit. Well, he was towed, and we fostered him from the time he was, about a month old?
Yeah, about 4 weeks.
And then he had some bad injuries, and we nursed him back to health. And then when it came time to give him up, was like, nope, he's staying with us.
That's not quite accurate.
Well,
it was a Karen decision.
I will say that each of us seems to pick one at the shelter that seems to mean more than the others. And we know we can't take them all home with us. So it's very bittersweet when they get adopted. Because we love it that they've got their own home.
Yeah.
And that's our goal.
How many cats do you have?
One of the things we hear all the time when we're trying to get fosters is, oh, I could never give them up because I fall in love with them too much. When you foster, you learn to fall in love with the process. Taking them in, getting them healthy, getting them fixed, and then adopting them out. You've really got to just change your perception on that.
Yeah, that's about it. Although I must admit, I joined the foster failure crew very quickly. Thank you, Pam.
Yes, you did that very early in God's Feral Felines.
Yes, Gabby thanks you too. So.
Yeah, we love all of the kittens that come through our shelter, but we also love it when they get their forever home.
Yeah. And that's our goal.
We know that they're well taken care of, because that's the whole point of the shelter, is making sure that they're nursed back to health, and then they find their forever home.
That's true. Well, you guys are doing a fabulous job. A lot of information, and good luck with the biscuits and gravy. And thank you, Stephen, for promoting us again.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hope to see you at the Biscuit and Gravy fundraiser, Eileen.
I'm going to do my best. Good. It's a little early for me on Saturday mornings.
Oh, my goodness. You can do it.
Tell Gabby to wake you up.
There you go.
Oh, she doesn't need to be told.
That's good stuff. Thank you, Eileen. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right. Bye. Well, guys, I think we've covered a lot of bases here. I know there was something else we needed to talk about. So I think it had something to do. Well, when the trap and neuter and release, or trap, spay, and release, TNR, you said, right?
Yes.
When that happens, you guys aren't the ones who go out and do that, but you help equip the people who need to, right?
Yes, it's get a lot of people that are really afraid of it, but it's actually quite easy.
Okay.
We do laugh that our job is trying to figure out how to be smarter than the average cat when you're doing a TNR.
Right.
But we've got a lot of good success, and we so appreciate that the people who feed the TNR cats are willing to do this. We just don't have the manpower for us to be able to go out and do that.
I gotcha. So I know we were talking about ways that the community can get involved, and there was something particular that you guys mentioned just while we were in that break. And what was that again? How we can get the community involved?
The stray cats. You know, neighborhoods have stray cats. If it's not an owned cat and it's a stray and you're feeding it, you know, our recommendation is that assume it's a female and assume it's going to have kittens.
Okay.
And if the neighborhood people that feed them could help us and get them trapped into the vet, and then they go back, it can really help cut down that population.
Gotcha. So when they trap them and they take them to the vet, what do they need to say? They need to contact you first to try to get the trap to trap them in the first place, right?
Right. They need to contact us before they do anything, so we can get the appointment set up. We work with a vet in Gunnersville and a vet in Arab to work with our TNR program. And we need to get appointments set up. And sometimes the appointments are 3 weeks out. But yeah, we have the traps, and we show you exactly how to use them and give you whatever pointers you may need.
I gotcha. I'm taking a look at that at your website right now at some of these cats and all the things you have set up here, your services and all that. I thank you for what you do. Not a lot of people take time out of their day to do stuff like this, but you really love cats. And I know some people are cat people, some people are dog people, but they are really fuzzy and they are really cuddly. They bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. So thank you all for all that you do.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And even with the reduced cost spay and neuter, we do run into people that can't even afford the $40. So if anybody wants to sponsor somebody or sponsor a cat, we'd love to talk to you.
Perfect. What's that phone number?
256-640-8000.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for carving out some time. We're going to get off the radio. I'm going to cuddle one of these kitties. So let me hit a song, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. We got your weather and word of life coming up. Hey, if you have any questions for them, please put them in the comments right there on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can see today's video there, and it'll be on our website later today as well. So thank you so much for hanging out right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Here's Riley Clemens, loved by you. Again, a big thank you to the crew of God's Feral Felines coming to the studio this morning, talking with us about what all they offer, what they have coming up, and how we can help. And I just wanted to remind you of something. They're doing something special for us here at the station. For the next month, God's Feral Felines is going to reduce its cost for spaying and neutering to $40 if you mention JFM 88.5 in your application. Yeah, you can find that application on their website, www.gffcats.org. So yeah, if you could use a little help with that service, well, they can help you out. Just make sure that you put 88.5 JFM there on your application. All right, hey, stick around. We're going to talk a little bit about change, specifically how our kids are changing. I'm going to say it. You ready for this? The teenage years. Somebody just cringed. I felt it. Stick around. No need to cringe. I got some really good stuff waiting for you. So be here after your weather and word of life. Well, let's take a look at these temperatures and see what I might be able to do here. It's 45 in Huntsville, 46 in Arab, 47 in Boaz. You remember earlier on in the show, I played that kiss sound effect because we just kissed the 40s. And I thought, I think today is going to be a two-kiss kind of day. Well, it's 49 in Coleman, and guess what? In Bluntsville and Gunnersville, well, we just happen to be kissing that 50-degree mark, warming up nicely out there. Blue skies, sunshine, absolutely gorgeous. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Well, your word of life today is a good one from Mark 13:33 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. And since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard. Stay alert. I love verses like this because to really get to the meat of what it's saying, you got to dig in just a little bit deeper, right? Because what is it talking about when it says that time will come? Well, dig in. Mark 13, verse 33 is where you can find that. So maybe go to the top of that chapter and read through and see what it's talking about there. And while you're at it, why not have a conversation? Start that word of life with it. Oh, let's start it off with that word of life. We've got it ready for you across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok, and it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Thank you so much for hanging out, whether it's on the stream, the radio, or the podcast. I see you all the way up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you for hanging out. Louisville, Kentucky, I see you. Also, all the way, where are you listening to us from? Omaha, Nebraska, still hanging out. Thank you for being here. We've also got plenty of listeners right here in North Alabama, up in Skyline and Coleman and Gunnersville, Albertville, and Boaz, and we've got our friends over in Helsinki, Finland, too. Thank you for hanging out. All right, just a little tease. A lot of people think that all teens are just sullen, angry creatures. That's simply not the case. In fact, I'm going to bring you 7 secrets to raising awesome, functional teenagers from a mom who's there right now. So stick around and we will do that next, right after Need to Breathe, and fall on me. Even with their bad handwriting, pimpled cheeks, scattered brains, long limbs, and Axe body spray covered selves, your teenager is probably just about the greatest gift God gave you as a parent, right? And I've got 7 tips to help make those teenage years a little smoother. This is all coming from an amazing author. This lady, been there, done that. She's actually in the middle of it, and she is so knowledgeable when it comes to stuff like this. I just want to pass it along to you. So here we go. This is all, again, from Christy Halverson. And tip number 1 is love them fiercely. Love everything about your teenager, even the annoying stuff. Love them for their actions and for their intentions. Let them know in word and deed how much you adore them daily. That's right. Love their wrinkled shirts and Axe body spray covered selves. Love their bad handwriting and pimpled cheeks. Number 2, listen and pay attention. When they walk in the door after school, you have a precious few minutes when they will divulge the secrets of their day with you. Be excited to see them. Put down the cell phone. Don't waste time making dinner or taking a phone call. Look them in the eye and hear what they are saying. Make their victories your victories and be empathetic. Number 3, say yes more than you say no. Wow. The world is forever going to tell them no. For the rest of their lives, they'll be swimming in a stormy sea with wave after wave of you're not good enough and you can't do this, crashing down on their heads. If nothing else, you want to be the opposite voice in their lives for as long as you can. You want to instill in them the belief that they can do it. They're not limited. They can do anything if they're willing to work hard enough for it. So, be the yes in their lives. Number 4, say no often. But say yes more, right? No is needed. You need to say no to experiences and situations that'll set your child up for harm or unhappiness. Don't let them go to a party where they're going to be forced to make a choice about some pretty tough things in front of their peers. Yeah. Or letting them stay out until 3 in the morning with a member of the opposite sex. Yeah, be careful about that. No is a good word there. Number 5, feed them, and feed them a lot. Not only them, but the friends too. Those bodies, they're growing, they're developing at an astonishing rate, and they need fuel to do so. Most of the time, they prefer to be loaded with processed sugars and hydrogenated something or others. Yeah, but when their friends know that their house is stocked with some really good stuff, guess what? You're going to get more of a chance to hang out with their friends too. And keep an eye on your teen. How cool is that? Number 6, don't sweat the small stuff. When living with teenagers, it can be so easy to see the backpack dropped in the middle of the living room as laziness, or the bedroom scattered with dirty clothes as irresponsible. Instead, and before you open your mouth to yell at them, put yourself in their shoes. Find out about their day first. Maybe they're feeling beaten down. They just need to unwind for a minute and tell you about it. Ignore the mess for a bit and put your arms around that big, sweaty kid and give them a hug. Talk to them about their world. Find out what they did, what they want to do, what they dream of doing. Then, and only then, ask them to pick it up and put it away. That being said, don't completely ignore the state of their bedroom. This has got to be taken care of. But make it so that you're not nagging them. Make it more intentional. So when they hear you say it, they know they should go do it. And finally, number 7, stand back and watch the magic happen. That's right. Yeah, if you let them, these glorious creatures will open their hearts and love you more fiercely than you could possibly imagine. They're brilliant, capable, strong spirits, and they can bring a flurry of happiness. They're hilarious and clever. They're thoughtful and sensitive. They want you to adore them. They need you to do that. They love deeply and are keenly in touch with the feelings of others. They're just about the greatest gift God gave to parents. So there you go. I love that. Hey, I'm going to make it easy for you to find. It's going to be over on our 88.5 JFM's Come Together Facebook group right there on Facebook. Go check it out. Now, by request, Ann Wilson, Sunday Sermons, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Christina Miles, this one's for you. I love it. Sunday Sermons, Ann Wilson, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is time for me to wrap things up. Again, a big thank you to God's Feral Felines, the whole crew, for coming down and being here in the studio with me. It really had a blast with them. More information about that interview, of course, is all over Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We did it live over there. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So, wow, I guess that's about it, right? The end of the Lifeline Morning Show for today. But I got one more request I got to play for Christina. She said, hey, could you play a twofer by Ann Wilson? I'm like, yeah. So here's Hey Girl. And hey, if you want to hear that inspiring quote of the day, catch it on the podcast. Yeah, over on Spotify at 10:15.